We make our way to Miami to start off match week 24 of MLS Next Pro, where the playoff race has tightened with every passing week. Into Miami, they might be down and out, but they still have a lot of pride to play for, while New England Revolution 2, top 3 in the East, but look to stay there and have that chance still to catch Crown Legacy in the number 1 overall seed. Hello, welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. We take a look at our starting 11s, and we start off with the home side, Inter Miami, especially for a team that were the first teams eliminated from postseason contention. They've made 3 changes since their last match versus Huntsville, all of them in the back 5. Marine is back in goal. He has started 19 of 22 matches for Inter Miami 2. Abdi Areda and Sumala are the other 2 changes on defense. Aside from the 3 changes in the back, the front 6 all remain the same since their match versus Huntsville. Saha's got 5 goals this year, leading the 3-man front for Inter Miami, but Acevedo and Ray are still looking for that very elusive first goal. Taking things the other way to New England Revolution 2, 4 changes since their 4-3 loss to Philadelphia Union. Back in the pipes, the introduction to MLS Next Pro, the youngest goalkeeper in Revolution 2 history, the 15-year-old Zach Lapierre makes his debut. Prajapati makes his 5th start across 11 appearances. Katzel gets slotted into the midfield. He makes his 2nd start this year. And up front, you have the trio of Baptiste, Sasaki, and Morgan, with Wells out due to red card suspension. We make our way to the center of Inter Miami CF Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. We might be an hour late because of some errant weather in the area, but I'm sure for these two, they are still more than ready to go to open up match week 24 of MLS Next Pro. Inter Miami, still only the 1 win in regulation so far this season, coming against Toronto FC at this very pitch, but for New England Revolution 2, every match absolutely paramount, especially with how tight the Eastern Conference standings are to this point. Inter Miami, they'll start off this match. They'll be in the pink, left to right. All white, right to left, will be New England. We get ready for the whistle from our lead official, and we begin here in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami 2, any hope and contention to make the Next Pro playoffs done and over with, but for New England, lots of opportunity to escalate the standings as the number 3 team in the Eastern Conference. Maybe even with the outside chance of getting to number 1 in the East. As Ryan Lee and the rest of our MLS Next Pro crew, we thank you so much for joining us here at Inter Miami CF Stadium, where New England want to make an early push right off the rip, and they'll do so in the form of a corner. Already in the opening 38 seconds, New England will get their opening corner. New England last time out played Philly to a 4-3 loss. One of the few times that the Revs have been able to not only get engaged in a high-flying shootout against a fellow MLS Next Pro opponent, but having really been on the better end of it for a large chunk of that match, even though they spent an entire half of it down 11v10. A full minute has passed since that first corner was awarded, by the way. Swings in. overhead kick, and that's over the bar. A great first chance for the Revs, however, to no avail. Over the head of the 18-year-old Matthias Marine, who starts in goal once again for Inter Miami. Starts in 19 of 22 matches for Marine if you include today's match. All sorts of tangle-ups between the Miami forwards and the New England defense. Bouncing through, Marine couldn't get the handle. Miami do get the clear, but only to the result of a New England throw. Logan Azar to take the toss. And they will likely go again. Into the middle, ricochets around, off the back of Oliveira. Masendin walks away. He'll retreat back towards Darlene. Served in the middle, overhead, bouncing ball, as Marine smothers it before Sasaki could get a second touch. A couple times so far in this match already, a threatening attacking option on this, from our vantage point, the near side of the goal of Marine. That'll be to his right, but both times no one was able to capitalize. Maybe a chance to spring up. Theo Vorenkamp starts the breakout. Vorenkamp circles back, and Hall. Tyler Hall back and forth with Matias Acevedo. Blocked off by New England. Miami will clear their end. Miami coming off a very tightly contested match versus Huntsville. It did end 2-0 in favor of Huntsville City, but it was the way that they stayed within it the entire match, how they took Huntsville on the road, on the precipice of a draw. Huntsville weren't able to score until the 89th minute, where they got what would eventually become the go-ahead goal. And then they would put one on just for the exclamation mark in second half stoppage. And for the first time in this match, the first time in his MLS Next Pro career, the touch of the ball from the 15-year-old Zach LaPierre, who was actually the youngest keeper to ever start for Revs 2. 15 years old, 193 days, has played with the U.S. Youth National Team. You don't have some of the services of some of the usual players for either side, especially because both teams, oh, someone's gonna have to chase that. That went through the tunnel. Looks like the ball boy's gonna have to run through the concourse. That is pristine placement of the ball, to say the least. But in the grand scheme of things, when you consider the fact that both respective first teams are in action today, both the Revs and the Herons are going to be without some of their first team players, and even some of their borderline suspects also taken away. Diego Rey, Masendin cycles back, Darlene, he'll take that contact to draw the whistle. We mentioned it earlier how Miami led Huntsville astray pretty much the whole match, not conceding a goal until pretty much the final minute of that regulation time. And Coach Daniel Godoy had the chance to tell us that that was actually one of the things that he was really impressed with his group. One of the big keys now is about maintaining that consistency and finding ways to put more teams at bay in that regard. But for Miami, even if they did hold off Huntsville, the next question would have been, could they have done something of their own to produce anything in that respect? Heron just looking for ways to keep the track of development for these players, how the adversity and the more than unfavorable circumstances can help in that regard. To Miami were the first team officially mathematically eliminated from the playoff chase across the entire league. Acevedo gets dropped by Sasaki. It stays with Miami. And there are also still a lot of possibilities here in the Eastern Conference. Not just talking about the bottom end of the table, but how about the top, where New England are top three. They're tied with Columbus Crew 2 in terms of points, 42 apiece. And there's not a lot of separation between the top four or even the bottom edge of the hosting duties all the way down to the playoff line. Only 6 points separate fourth and first, which can really flip a lot of things around, because Crown Legacy, they have been pole position for large chunks of the season. The only times they've been usurped has been a week here and there. New England has to look out. Acevedo comes in, follow-up try from distance and just misses. A great try from deep from the Herons as Joseph Converse had the follow-up, but beyond frame, goal kick New England. This is a great keep-in by Acevedo, slipping it past through Sasaki. And even though you had all sorts of bodies getting in there between Azar and Masendin, the follow-up by Converse to send it to goal, test the young keeper in his first ever Next Pro appearance. If that was within frame, I'm not 100% convinced that he would have gotten there, but nonetheless, New England can escape unscathed. Miami still working, putting some pressure on New England in their end. Hall backs up. And he's got his man Sumala. Cam in a foot race, Gets around Azar. Vorenkamp sliding in the middle, and they score! Inter Miami flying high at home. They take the opening goal of the game and the first goal of the season for Diego Rey. What a way to get your first goal of the season. Great individual effort here by Vorenkamp. Got across Azar, had the follow-up from Shannon. Neither could dislodge, and that left Rey all by himself at the top of the six. Trying to take advantage not just of the home field, the fact that New England's on a tight travel schedule, they're shifting guys around. These are a lot of the usual suspects for Inter Miami too. And it seems like finally they've been getting on the same page, something that's eluded them for a good part of the season. The 20-year-old Venezuelan, only 2 goals in 2 seasons. Prior to today, he gets his 3rd across MLS Next Pro, his first in 2026. That goal comes in the opening 13 minutes. And one of the things you have to wonder, in a sense, could the delay have maybe gotten in the heads of New England? It was initially a 7 Eastern kickoff time. It didn't go until 8 Eastern. And it seemed like that allowed Inter Miami to marinate in this a little bit. It's Rey from Vorenkamp. And New England were offside. This broadcast is presented by Royal Caribbean, the official vacation partner of Inter Miami CF2. They did give credit, the secondary assist to Acevedo as well. Foot race, Darlene almost had an own goal, but that just sputters wide. It will give Miami a corner, however. This was near disaster for New England. Acevedo just got credited with his secondary assist on the Rey goal. He tried to lead ahead for Saha, and that forced a scramble back from Darlene. And that is all sorts of, that is a play that you don't make. A little more of a panic move, if you would. Just trying to poke it out of play instead of maybe trying to cradle it or find an outlet pass. You just kind of poke it towards goal. You're not off by much. But of the 2 evils, this is the lesser of those. The first goal kick for Acevedo and Miami. Swept in, punched out. Edge of the box as that one is into the stands. In terms of who is here and who is not, a lot of that is relatively reminiscent of who could make the travel. Keep in mind, both first teams are in action today as well. New England's are in DC, and Miami's is in Philly. So it's not just that you have crossover between the first and second team and the conflicting schedules of it all, but the added element of them not even being in the same city or even the same state for that matter. But if this was a battle of the 2 first teams, it'd be a much different story overall. Especially because Miami is actually one seed ahead of New England in the Major League Soccer Eastern Conference standings. New England in the 3. Ironically enough, they're both in the 3, the first and second teams for New England, but Miami's first team, they're in the 2 slot in the East. And I'm sure for many of these young Herons, they want to make their way there someday or another. We're talking about an hour south from the old stadium to the new stadium, appropriately called New Stadium. Officially ruled a 12th minute goal. Ray from Vornkamp and Acevedo. It's been a very tight couple days of travel for the Revs. And it'll be no different over the weekend against Philly, here in the midweek in Miami, before going to NYC at the end of the week. And that's the other element added of it too for New England. You're not just talking about congested schedule, but a full week of 7-ish, 8-ish days completely on the road. Have to change some things both stylistically and philosophically just because of sheer manpower. And who made the travel? New England aiming for a way to bounce back after letting up that first goal. Keep in mind also, when Miami got that first win against Toronto back on July 25th, they did take the opener. Although Toronto would eventually tie the game, Miami called game when it mattered the most. That was not kept in play. Marine will take the goal kick. It simply was supposed to start off as an 82-degree day with some mild winds going southward. However, that 70% chance of rain and thunderstorms is what did us in for about an hour. Since then, significant drop-off to the low 60s in terms of precipitation percentile. And now we're down to single digits after everything's been gone and cleared. Still an 83-degree day, though. Let's not get that part mistaken. And we will expect hydration breaks right around the next 10 minutes or so. Katzel has help outside. Katzel and Shannon go back and forth. Threading it through in the area. Lets it go. Save Marine. Still loose. Morgan entangled. Swiped. Couldn't get there. Miami clear. And Azar, the last man back. He got bodied by Ray, and this will draw the whistle New England's way. This is that last opportunity from New England. They had a great opportunity. Had help all around the outside. You had Oliveira and Morgan trying to get those couple of swipes in. Just completely whiffs. As you have a takedown. Fair play, says the official. Our crew, they're in the yellow today. Rashawn Clark with Christopher Slane, Bill Bolson, and Sebastian Ocampo. They've waited this thing out for the hour just like we all have. Squeezing it in, Oliveira escapes, that gets blocked. Back in the middle for Morgan, he can't get there. Still New England in possession. Azar settles back towards the center circle. Katzel outside. Darlene the follow. Stutters. Gets through one. Looks for a lane. Darlene had that fantastic finish from outside the box in the game last time out versus Philly. New England on the hunt. Lays it up top. Prajapati circles back. Just wide of Oliveira, couldn't get the second ball. Morgan puts pressure on Converse. Only as far as Katzel. How did that stay in play for the Herons? Assistance comes once again for New England. Halfway through the half, 23 of 45. Try from deep is missed. You just had the ball bouncing back and forth. All sorts of opportunities, especially for New England over the last handful of minutes. It started off with New England getting outshot by Miami. However, over the last few minutes, New England have been able to get opportunities of their own, and that could not be kept in play by Vorenkamp. Play on, says the official. It's been a couple of those so far, and now that one gets whistled. Miami get ready for the free kick, as this portion of the match is brought to you by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami CF. Baptist Health welcomes you to experience the warmer side of care. $25 down, 20 to go in Fort Lauderdale. Deep ball, kept in play, work to the outside, and a tap, and they score! Ray returns to the score sheet. Back-to-back goals for Inter Miami, and they lead 2-0. What a pathway this is for Inter Miami. Able to slip through the defender, keep it inside of the byline, and a quick slide through for the tap-in by Ray. And this is something that maybe Inter Miami is waiting for all season long. What a keep-in and what a feed from Cesar Abadia-Reyta to find Ray in front of goal to get the easy tap-in. A lot of the defensive efforts shifted in the direction of Abadia-Reyta, but that allowed Ray to open up in the middle of the box, unfazed, untouched. 2 goals this match, 2 goals all last season, and now it's 2-0 Miami over New England. That got chopped down again by Miami, but Katzel recovers back for the Revs. Sasaki stutters, double teamed. Goal kick Marine. They will give not only Ray his second goal, but the assist goes to both Abadia Reda and the secondary to Daniel Sumala. Wide of Masendin. Follow-up for Miami. Converse. Outside for Ray. Along the corner. Waits for help. Sasaki pokes it out. Throw in for Miami. We're expected to have hydration breaks at the half-an-hour mark in this match in Fort Lauderdale. It is a steamy 82 degrees. They've been stewing in this ever since that hour-long hydro break, or hour-long rain delay break. And even for a team like New England, who are a little shorthanded on the attacking end without the services of Makai Wells, double yellow against Philly, suspended for today's match promptly. Doesn't necessarily help New England so far. It's just been a lot of transitional play from Miami. Bouncing ball, Vorenkamp couldn't get through. And with that first goal, by the way, from Diego Ray, Inter Miami snapped a 314-minute goal drought. Their last 3 matches, they did not have a single goal scored within that. As that is just a reset of the dead ball. Not going to the Hydros yet. And somehow a second ball got on the field, but they clear that out, and now we resume. But you're talking about 3 consecutive matches without a goal. In fact, their last goal before the first goal from Ray was their game winner against Toronto. Ever since that win against Toronto FC 2-1 back on July 25th, they were shut out 1-0 against Chattanooga. Same goes 2-0 against Crown Legacy, and they lost their last match 2-0 in Huntsville. And I'm sure for all 3 of those teams, they most certainly would have taken those much potentially needed points. Especially for Chattanooga and Crown Legacy, they're up against each other in the number 1 and 2 slot in the East. A spot that New England would have to find something in the next hour to maybe stay in that race. Especially with Columbus Crew lurking, also tied in points with the Revs. 42 aside between New England and Columbus. Chattanooga with 44, Crown Legacy with 48 in pole position of the East. New England right now have the lead on Columbus, in part because of your points percentage. Points of the extra loss that Columbus have got recouped by New England in the PK shootouts. And especially once you get to these playoff clinching elimination scenarios, that just adds another wrinkle. Break back heel, Acevedo in front, he scores! Acevedo joins in, and that's 3 for Miami. A party in Miami. What's new there? The nice back heel from Ray to slide it for Acevedo inside of the left post. And what an excellent match here already for Diego Ray. 2 assists and a goal in a half an hour. As Acevedo joins in on the party as well. And what do you do here if you're Pablo Moreira? For Matias Acevedo, that puts him on the score sheet for the first time this season. Started in 10 of 11 in 2026. And this is how we got to this point at the 33-minute mark. In a flash, Vorenkamp tight ropes the end line on a slide that allows Ray to get the tap in despite all the bodies in the way. That put things at 1-0 a dozen minutes into the match. Only 14 minutes after that, in the 26th minute, what a great feed this is from Abadia Reda to find Ray on the tap-in. For Abadia Reda, that's just a fantastic look, especially with him being more or less in and out of the lineup all season long, and then this little give and go. Ray on the back heel, the full lane for Acevedo. He beat out his man Katzel and snuck it inside of the post. That is 3 goals in a 20-minute stretch for New England Revolution. I know it's not something we go to until the end of the match, but Diego Ray might already put himself in very early contention for our man of the match. Already 2 goals and the primary assist on the Acevedo goal. You do have the secondary helper from Vorenkamp as well. So for Vorenkamp, 2 assists. Acevedo, a goal and assist. For Ray, 2 goals and an assist. And if you are Coach Godoy and Coach Vargas of Inter Miami 2, you have to be so pleased with how things have panned out in the first half an hour of this match. That's one of the big questions that Pablo Moreira had for his men, as this feed from Sasaki gets blocked. Is just staying tough, staying within those moments, the defensive prowess, and making sure they capitalize those to their advantage. When you have an injury in the first handful of minutes preventing any sort of flow in the match, because you have to break it so early on, getting an injury substitution in the first 10 minutes, and then you have a red card on, despite a lengthy first half stoppage of somehow 15 minutes, you still concede a red card within that stretch and you play 11v10 the rest of the way. And they still found a way to continue to respond against Philly. Maybe a chance here. Sasaki attempted to slide it by. That got blocked on the way. The back heel makes its way towards Aaron Prajapati. Dislodge back for New England. Baptiste didn't take a try. Morgan does, but he missed it. And it did take a clip on the way. This is New England's second corner. You have the steal right at the edge of the Attacking third, falls back nicely from Miles Morgan. Gave that a crack from outside the area, but nothing was able to go. For Morgan, 11 goals, looking for the dozen to stay within reach of Arif Kovac's 16. Lofted in, punched out Marine, follow-up try, gets clipped, over. And this is not necessarily what you want to see if you are Coach Vargas and if you're Inter Miami too. Your number one keeper, Matias Marine, hunched over inside of his own goal. Oh, and the glove off too. You were already on a roll, and you held off New England to this point. Haven't conceded a second shot on goal yet to the Revs. It might have been on the punch out in the scramble. This is the replay of that last corner. And you could see right after he punches the ball, he's shaking it out. It looked like it was somewhere along the way when he comes out to challenge the ball and get the hand out to force it outside the box. And when he lands, you see immediately he's shaking that thing off. He did not feel comfortable once he got that contact to his hand to wrist area. This has been a team that have just been emphasizing the details of their system, maybe not overdoing things in practice too much lately. But they've been very keen on their philosophy to develop the players and sharpen them to the first team needs. You have two more than capable keepers on the first team between Rocco Rios Novos and Dane Sinclair with Inter Miami, but Matias Marine has been the number one guy in the pipeline, and it looks like they're just going to ask him to keep going. At the very least, you have 5 more minutes until the halftime break, barring stoppage. Ray gets out of the jumble, has Vorenkamp alongside. Poked up, edge of the box, sky ball. Vorenkamp hustles. Abadiareda came in there as well. New England walk out of the jumble, maybe a chance for them to break out. Scoop to center, blocked off by Miami. They've got about 3.5 plus stoppage to go. Sasaki holds up. Masendin got her on Urquidy, back up for Sasaki, contact in the area, no penalty. There's been at least 2 of those for New England, 2 bits of contact inside of the opposing area, but neither have been whistled down, and we continue to play on. I'm sure New England would like to have a break, especially with the scoreline being where it is. Sliding through, kept in play, the cross, header, scores! Morgan gets one back for New England, 3-1, 3 minutes before halftime. A little bit of life has come for the Revs. What a feed this is on the outside. You got Oliveira skying it, and that is just a jump ball for Miles Morgan. The Canadian from Pickering adds to his team lead. He's got a dozen this year, and a yellow card is being shown to Miami's bench as well. 43rd minute from Miles Morgan, and then the yellow card to the bench came promptly after, 43rd and 44th minutes respectively. This is something that New England going to have to do. They just came off of a 7-goal shootout against Philly Union where they did not come up on the upper end. Miami were hot off the jump. 3 minutes in the opening 32 minutes. However, technically speaking, those 3 goals only span 20 minutes. This portion of the match is brought to you by Lowe's, the official home improvement partner of Inter Miami CF2. Urquidy, the captain, will retreat. He's got men on the other side of center. It is Oliveira who gets credited on the helper from Morgan. And this will skip back to Lapierre. You also get an assist, secondary assist from Aaron Prajapati within that Morgan goal. Five extra minutes. That's what's going to happen when you have 4 goals and a hydro break within that. Is there one last chance for New England? And this could make for a very interesting second half if it does. Oliveira, Morgan, flips outside. That's Prajapati. Prajapati curls it, ricochets. Must send it in. Morgan not on the same page. Morgan couldn't get the touch before it's flipped out by Miami. Shannon along the center stripe. Vorenkamp getting in there with Sasaki, and that's a foul against New England. 1 minute deep of 5 in Fort Lauderdale. And for those who may not know, those black lines that you see, that is for rugby. There is a professional rugby team that plays here that go by the name of the Miami Sharks. They are a part of Major League Rugby, introduced in 2023. Maybe a chance for New England. Miles blocks. Second try. Great save, Marine. Corner coming for New England. They've got 3 in this half. Miami still only the 1, but a great chance here as all sorts of space has come for the Ravs on that follow-up. Some extracurriculars as well because you have so much congestion inside of the penalty area. Oliveira is just ready to send this one off. Now we have discussion with our head official, Rashawn Clark. Oliveira on the corner from Marine's first save. Oliveira scoops it, header, ricochets. Wide. There was some discussion there. New England, they're a team you can't necessarily count out. They've conceded first in 10 games and have at the very least recouped points in half of those matches. 2 of them to claim the full 3 in regulation. The other 3 were via penalties. So there still is that opportunity for New England to surge back. They are out shooting Miami in terms of attempts, 8-5, despite the same number of shots on target, 3 aside. Maybe a little bit of the inexperience of a guy like Zach Pierre. Of Zach LaPierre coming to a little bit of exposure for this Miami side who, although they've struggled, they've at least struggled together. Dahlin across center. Prashapati and Dahlin work together on the outside. And that is miscommunication, giving things right back to Marine. Crazy thing enough for Inter Miami 2 at least, although nothing's final. They're one of only 2 teams who this season, they're a sub a goal per game. Masendin definitely got a reach in there. We only have the 1 yellow card given to New England's bench so far. We still only have the 1 yellow from the bench. There have been a lot of really aggressive, tough tackles, but none of them have forced the card out from our officials yet. Despite both of these teams being within the top 10 of yellow cards. And that begs at least one question. When does the dam finally break for Rashawn Clark? Pass Saha to the hands of LaPierre. And that will be it for the first half. A very commanding first half for the Herons on the visiting New England Revolution. It is home field advantage indeed. An hour delay, no problem for Miami as they lead 3-1. Coming up at halftime, we take a look at the MLS Next All-Star Game, plus the upcoming August schedule, highlights, and more on the way back. Back in Miami, where Inter Miami lead New England Revolution 3-1 at the halftime break. Let's go to Charlotte to take a look at the MLS Next All-Star Game and the Skills Challenge, and we also take a look at the now permanent head gaffer for Chattanooga FC.
What's going on, guys? Moises Linares here in Charlotte, North Carolina for the big MLS All-Star Game. And as you can see behind me, anticipation's already building. But before we can even talk about the big game, how about we take a look at some of the best moments during MLS All-Star Week, including the MLS Next All-Star Game, which features some of MLS Next Pro's brightest stars. Charlotte kicked off with the MLS Next All-Star Game, where we got a glimpse of the game's future stars who faced off at Mecklenburg County Sportsplex. A 7-goal thriller that saw Team East take care of business versus Team West with a 6-1 victory. Less than 20 hours after scoring for Crew 2, Columbus Crew's Jamil Danjaji hopped on a flight to Charlotte and found the back of the net again.
Towards goal and through! Jamil Danjaji makes it 2-0 in the blink of an eye.
Nashville SC and Huntsville City forward Liam Stribling also found the back of the net for the East.
Nashville, man, Stribling's got some space here. Stribling puts it through. How good is that?
And Crown Legacy's Daniel Brown would complete the scoring for Team East.
A good punch out. Philo. Oh, distance! Fizzer is through. Brown, the hometown product.
The West would pull one back, but ultimately it wasn't enough to overcome the East.
This is a celebration of all their hard work. So many of these guys not only had great individual seasons, they performed well for their team, but what we're starting to see, which is also so cool, is when we talk about pathway, is these players not only do well for their academy team, but most of them have already started to feature for Next Pro, which is that not only the next step for them in their own development, but it continues that aspiration to get to the highest level.
Obviously, it's a wonderful event. Such a privilege to be chosen for this. It takes years and years of training and experience for any player to get caught up into this. So congratulations to everybody that's got caught into this and everybody's family to experience the welcome of being able to participate in this event.
I mean, it's a learning experience. I'm just happy to be here. I'm gonna keep going, keep training, and keep my head down and be grounded.
Before the game, we also caught up with president of MLS Next Pro, Ali Curtis, who talked about the evolution of the pathway MLS has created.
We've got a great collection of players here today. It's a great evening. It's a great event that we're fortunately able to be supported by our partner in Allstate, and we've got a great number of talented players here. So it's a great addition and a great player development moment.
Just crazy to see how far the league has come. And it's just a beautiful thing, right? Now we have 30 teams, so many more stadiums, new stadiums being built. The academy wasn't around in 2009. Now we have a full-blown academy, and to see the talent that we have here tonight is just spectacular. And so it just tells me that we're all moving in the right direction. We're continuing to move this game forward in this country with the World Cup. Everyone's excited. And now we just have to continue to help encourage and support these kids.
Here at Bank of America Stadium, MLS All-Stars lead Liga MX 3-1 after 45 minutes. A great performance in the first half. And speaking of great performances, some of MLS Next Pro's very best goalkeepers and field players took part in the skills challenge. That includes goalie wars and also the crossbar challenge.
I'm trying to get that assist in. Oh, he's cooking me alive. Those low ones killed me. Hey, we got the...
Tuesday morning saw the MLS Next Pro players take on actor Danny Ramirez in goalie wars. The Hollywood star even banged this golazo.
Bonus ball! He got the ball!
Later, MLS Next Pro goalkeeper Will Mackey and defending champion Pedro Cruz kick things off, going head-to-head.
Okay, here we go for two. Can he score? Oh, he does! Pedro Cruz with a clutch effort.
Houston Dynamo's Pedro Cruz would emerge victorious, moving on to the semifinals, where he faced Mexican national team in Pachuca's goalie Carlos Moreno.
Carlos Moreno to win it. Can he do it? Moreno! Get up! Get up! Get up! Take it! Take it! Take it! Oh! Pedro Cruz!
Scores, he wins.
Oh, that's it. He's done it. Pedro Cruz advances.
Cruz took care of business against Moreno, advancing to the final where he squared off versus World Cup goalkeeper Maxime Crepeau.
Let's go. Come on, Pedro. Let's go. Come on. Game on. Gotta stop him. And Maxime Crepeau is the winner of the All-Star Goalie Wars.
Cruz would come up just short of defending his crown, but would win the admiration of Orlando's Crepeau, who was impressed with what he saw.
It's fun. I talked to him right away. I was like, honestly, if you kept the balls a little bit lower and on the surface, you had me, because he was so powerful that you don't have the chance to get there almost at this distance.
Estoy muy contento. Lo arquero es muy bueno, una persona muy buena. Pude conocer él poquito. Él habló que hoy está yendo bien. Una persona buena y muy bueno dividir la cancha con él.
Goalkeepers weren't the only ones in action. The crossbar challenge saw North Texas SC Edonis face off against former MLS Next Pro star Xavier Gozo, taking on some big names like Evander and Javier Ruiz from Club Necaxa.
Representing MLS Next Pro. We see the young superstars emerge in Major League Soccer. North Texas is a great pipeline for FC Dallas.
Let's go, Nice. You're almost there.
There it is. Oh, there it is. For MLS Next Pro. What a story this could be.
Gozo would also make it to the final, but would come up just short versus Ruiz, who would go on to win the competition. An experience that has left a positive mark on both players.
This will be fun to have in your backyard, so I think it was just fun kick around and we'll really enjoyed it.
3 days of MLS All-Star action culminated here at Bank of America Stadium, with MLS All-Stars pulling a 4-3 win against Liga MX, a game that saw a handful of MLS Next Pro alumni make their All-Star debut, a major milestone for the league. Signing off from the Queen City, Moises Linares.
Had a meeting with Rich, and I let him know that he was going to be our choice moving forward. So,
thank you guys. First of all, thank you for your commitment to the club, your commitment to each other, and your commitment to just excellence, right? Because that's what we're aiming for, is excellence.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's something that I've been looking forward to ever since I retired. Always
conversation on him becoming the interim.
Good session. Look after yourselves. Better together.
To Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where Inter Miami 2 have a 3-1 lead on New England Revolution 2. What a crazy first half it has been as we get started in match week 24 today. You had that matinee matchup the other day with Atlanta and Chicago wrapping up match week 23, but match week 24 continues on in the West Coast. LAFC will host Sporting Kansas City 2 for LA. I'm sure they're still going to try to maintain their standing within the Western Conference. For New England, they go to the Big Apple to play at Icon Stadium against NYCFC, who just earlier dismantled FC Cincinnati to 5-0 And we also have to update you that the Colorado Rapids Real Monarchs match has actually been moved to Sunday at 8 p.m. But I am sure for the Monarchs there are still plenty of important points to play for, with them only being 5 points away from San Jose in the number 8 slot as it sits right now. So don't tune away to that match just because Colorado has been eliminated. You also do have the circumstance of today's match as well, so you never really know what can happen, even with the Rapids and the Monarchs going into Saturday night, or Sunday night rather. That game got rescheduled from Saturday. We took a look at what's going to happen in MLS Next Pro. Let's take a look at what's been happening in this match. And for Miami, it's been a lot of the individual efforts. You just had Bornkamp getting around Azar. You had the commitment from Shannon, and that opened up space for Diego Rey to smack in his first goal of the season and the first goal of this match. But what a deep ball this is from Daniel Samala to connect to Abadia Reda on the run, on the money. Just slipping it between LaPierre and Shannon to get Rey on another tap-in goal. But Diego Rey has been having himself quite a match so far. Great back heel flick to loosen up Matias Acevedo. Already got the secondary assist on one of the Rey goals. He adds to it with a goal of his own. However, even though they were down 3-0 New England, they would still have a counterpunch of their own. Oliveira on the back post. Morgan heads it in. He just posterized Tyler Hall on the other end. And that is where things stand through 45 minutes. We get ready to restart for the second half here at Inter Miami Stadium. The Herons, right to left, all pink, all white, left to right are the Revs. We await the whistle from our head official, Rashawn Clark, and we are back for the second set of 45 here in Fort Lauderdale. Ryan Lee and the rest of our MLS Next Pro crew, we thank you for joining us here in South Florida. Although we got pushed back by an hour, good to know that the energy is still palpable within the pink and black stadium here, as they are the ones who have been in control for a large portion of this match. Abadia Reda goes down for the opening foul. But lots of credit has to go to Inter Miami, getting on the front foot right off the gate. It's something that they have not had a lot of experience with at all this season. 14 matches this season, they've allowed the first goal. All of them ended up becoming losses. Only 6 times, now 7, have they scored the opening goal of the match, including their lone win of the season. But a tap in front, great save Marine. Follow-up try, bounces just wide, offside regardless. This is a great couple of attempts by New England. The tap in front for Michael Jean-Baptiste to get free, and then the follow-up might have been wide, but the intent was most certainly there. Both Coach Godoy and Coach Marrero will stand pat with their respective starting 11s. As mentioned before, at least for the context of New England, they will not have the services of a guy like Makai Wells. Red card suspension against Philadelphia. Double yellow it was, in fact. And for New England, the other big piece of roster notes is the youngster in goal, Zach LaPierre, 15 years old, the youngest in team history. And all the scrapping back and forth will finally force the first yellow card for Rashawn Clark. It was Prajapati who was entangled with Daniel Samala. And with all the aggressive fouls and slides all over the pitch, I'm very surprised it took this long before the first yellow card in play took its place. You had Prajapati, the back heel, Samala just was playing a little bit of keep away, boxing out well actually, and Prajapati just took that swipe to that side of the calf area. Miscommunication, didn't get to Darlene. Acevedo lost his footing. There was a rain delay, so it could be a slick pitch. Urquidy keeps it. Urquidy wears the band today in his captaincy. Same goes for Gabe Darlene the other way, who watches Urquidy tightly. Sloan Morrison poked out by Darlene. Back to Miami. And Acevedo is the man down. Comes in off the toss. Acevedo coughs it up. Prajapati, just a little too much juice for Morgan to control. Morgan scored the lone New England goal in the dying minutes of the first half. 2 minutes before stoppage time began for Miles Morgan to reach the dozen mark. Although he does lead New England, he is still just under a handful of games away from the leader, Arif Kovac of Atlanta United 2. Abadia Reda keeps on the outside. Ray back in. Converse. Converse bumping with Baptiste. Prajapati gives it back to Miami. Back in the middle, reversed. Saha backwards for Acevedo. Acevedo slips through. Saha. And that doesn't get beyond Jake Shannon. A Miami team that has had many recent struggles over the past several seasons. Bottom 2 in the East in each of the last 2 seasons. They were the second lowest seed of the conference last year. They were the lowest seed of the East this year. A fate that New England actually suffered back in 2024 in MLS Next Pro. But aside from the one blip in the radar, which was the 24 campaign, they have made the playoffs 2 out of 3 seasons. Want to elongate that to 3 of 4. Headed outside, Acevedo. Pump fakes, centers, gets it back from Converse. Morrison. Short of Vorenkamp, Ray the support. Goes back to New England. It's been really tough stretch for New England Revolution, especially with having 3 games within a week. All these tight turnarounds have not really allowed for that same amount of rotation, especially due to lack of manpower in the midweek game as well for the Revs. One of the many struggles that Pablo Moreira is trying to juggle with going into the match. At the end of the day, staying within the shape, being aggressive, dropping back, especially with the defensive prowess that they have had, as are the Revs. going into the match. They've allowed the fewest shots, and in doing so have a top 5 scoring defense. As in the fewest goals allowed in the league, they've allowed the 5th fewest. And they're also a team that can create opportunities at will also. This match, no different. 10 shots attempted versus Miami's 5, but each of them have 3. And of the 3, Miami's a perfect 3 for 3 in terms of the shots on target to goal ratio. Smack deep, foreign camp. Couldn't completely evade the D. Oliveira lost his man. Starts and stops. Outside he goes. Sasaki crosses. Morgan tried the header. That got blocked out. And eventually Miami escape. Along the far sideline, Diego Rey gets double teamed. Keeps the ball with Miami. When talking to Coach Godoy, especially with these recent struggles they've had, he just has this overall understanding that the feeling of adversity and even having maybe some moments of failure during the season can actually be a benefit for these guys. This one's headed up and over. Saha was left inside of the 6, had the header and positioning. You had Darlene and you had Prajapati. He got in between both of them. Somehow found a way to escape Darlene to get the space he needed to even make the header in the first place. There's some interference there on Michael Baptiste that goes unwhistled. Abdi Areda picked off Katzel. You can see almost every time anyone in white touches the ball, Miami goes into that straight pressure man-to-man. Something that Coach Moreira was very cognizant of when speaking to him. How every game is about the immediate one in front of them. They're a team that deliberately try not to focus on the standings because it can be one thing that can take away from the philosophy of the game itself, something he learned in his several seasons being an assistant with Caleb Porter all those years with the Timbers and the Crew and even with the Rebs up until last year. Two-time MLS Cup winner is Pablo Moreira on the Caleb Porter staff with both Portland and Columbus. Portland in 2015, helping raise the cup with Columbus in 2020. Acevedo had it blocked off by Shannon. That allows Darlene to retreat back. In the grand scheme of MLS Next Pro, you have three teams eliminated, two of them in the East, which were Cincinnati and Inter Miami. Colorado, the lone team out in the West. 2 spots in the playoff picture are occupied in the West, those being the top 2 seeds in Austin and Portland. That's out of play as this broadcast is presented by Royal Caribbean, the official vacation partner for Inter Miami CF2. As of now, no spots are occupied in the Eastern Conference playoff pool. However, there are two teams who are officially out of it, which are Cincinnati and Miami. Miami were the first to officially be eliminated. Only one team can make their way into the playoffs from the East this week, and that is Crown Legacy. Starter step, edge of the box. That cross is blocked. Chasing it down is Azar. Katzel up the middle. Return feed gets intercepted. Acevedo hustles down the field. Help comes from Morrison. Follow up from Urquidy. 2 minutes shy of the hour. Still 3-1, that's where we started the half. Ray in the 12th and 26th. Acevedo in the 32nd, Morgan in the 43rd. In case you didn't see the camera shot there, Schneider Mimi is next to the fourth official. Baptiste creates pressure on Marine, but to no avail. It's back for Acevedo. Squirts it forward. Abade Reda had it blocked. Prajapati gets out, and although Morgan lost it, Prajapati was there for assistance. That's well short of the intended target. It's back to Miami again. Schneider Mimi, the 25-year-old from Haiti, does stand next to the fourth official. Hall keeps it outside for Vornkamp. Azar tries to create pressure before it's retreated to Marine. And it's really been pretty much a stalemate this entire time. Corner for New England. Their first of the half. Swung in. Headed. Cleared off the line. An excellent opportunity for the Revs to get within one. Ray got off of his man, but that couldn't find its way through. It was Morgan in the mix once again. Corner goes short. Served up. Too high for Baptiste. Follow up from Mimi. And that last goes off of him out of play. So a substitution did come on during that technical difficulties period. We apologize for anything that might have happened there. But it's Schneider Mimi, the 25-year-old from Haiti, coming in for Levi Katzel in the midfield. Masendin draws pressure. Double team allows New England to take possession. There's been at least one opportunity per half that were golden for New England, but neither get converted. Oliveira's cross gets blocked by Urquidy. He settles it down. Prajapati. Back for Oliveira, assisted on the first goal. Cycled around. That allows Miami to step in and get in the way. Saha circles back and sent down towards Darlene. Prajapati got it back nicely from Acevedo, and that allows the Revs to control. Still 3-1 in 63. Miami trying to escape the 3 consecutive losses, all of which just happened to be via shutout. For New England, they haven't had a win since the first week of August. Maybe a chance here. Masendin cuts back. Late trailer, but couldn't connect. Darlene gets it right back, but instead it's whistled against the Revs. All things considered, New England are unbeaten in 5 of the last 6. Of the 5 matches prior to their 4-3 loss to Philly, they were 3-0-2 in a 5-game stretch. And also, they've been a very dominant road team, have the Revs as well. Bouncing ball, and that is cupped in by LaPierre. What a lane! Masendin, one-on-one, Masendin hit the post! New England still on the 65. Darlene whips it back. Mimi. Curled in, held up Marine, rebound, and Oliveira flubbed the rebound. 2 golden opportunities for the Revs, both squandered as Masendin was wide open. He was one-on-one with Marine, had him beat, just couldn't get within the post. Back in the mix, clipped up and out. That's corners. Back-to-back for New England. That's 3 in the half already. They had 3 in the entire first half. You had a post, you had a doorstop save from Marine, and already the 6th corner for New England. Oliveira on the outside, cuts it in, looking for the rebound, headed, still loose. Miami sweep it out. This is a New England team that can't catch a break, but they will get their opportunities. 3rd most shot attempts in the league entering the night. Prajapati escaped the grapple of Acevedo, but not the block of Abadia Reda. And this does come back to New England on the toss. Masendin, across. Not in time, out of play. '67th minute, New England on the surge, but down 2 goals. A stoppage will be had for a Marine goal kick. And some changes are underway for Inter Miami. You have Jude Adeklat coming in. We also have Alejandro Flores and Ido Zeltzer-Zubida standing all alongside the fourth official. Sebastian Ocampo, the one managing the big board today. So it seems like the man who has led the way in this match, Diego Rey, he is done for the match. Ido Zeltzer-Zubida also will take the place of Abadia Reda as well. As you can see, Vorenkamp was a part of that mix also. So it's Flores for Acevedo. You had Jude Adeklat, Ido Zeltzer-Zubida, and Alejandro Flores all coming in for Inter Miami. With just a touch over 20 minutes to go. Maybe a chance to spring up the middle. That try is blocked. Azar had it fall right back for Prajapati. Darlene tried to chip it. They wanted the penalty, maybe for a handball. We'll have to take a look at that. And now the yellow card is given to Pablo Moreira. But there is some interesting moments of game management here from Rashawn Clark, the head official, along with Christopher Slane, Bill Bolson, and Sebastian Ocampo, all in the yellow today. For lack of a better term, very interesting moments of game management. As that just flies over the head of Masendin, giving Marine a free goal kick. Maybe a chance here. Baptiste in the box. Baptiste, he scores! Michael Jean-Baptiste brings the Revs within one. 3-2. You had to wonder when this block was made by Masendin, what would happen to Baptiste? You had options inside of the box, but instead, short side, top corner on Marine. It looked like Marine committed to making the save low, but Baptiste roofs it over the fingertips of Marine. 3-2, game on, 20 minutes to go. Is there another chance here for Miami? Is that shot? And Miami respond immediately. The substitute strikes for Miami. Ido Zeltzer-Zubida. And Miami are back up by 2. A great counter punch as Saha fed it in the middle. A nice little dummy there by Flores to give it off. He had Zeltzer-Zubida right behind. And that allowed him to strike it bottom corner. And Miami maintained their perfection in this match. 4 shots on target, 4 goals. And that comes, at least on the official score sheet, 1 minute after the goal from Matthew Jean-Baptiste. Jean-Baptiste in the 71st. Zeltzer Zubida in the 72nd. And right when New England had a lifeline, Miami ripped their hearts out once again. Centering feed, too short of Morgan. This follow-up try is too high. So Javon Masendin is the one credited with the assist on the Baptiste goal. Acevedo got a yellow card with it. You had a yellow card given out within that mix as well. And maybe a chance to lead off again for Miami. Starter steps, across, no one on the receiving end. A lane on the near side for Aaron Prajapati, chips it, Morgan short. Back for Prajapati, and he just whiffed on the attempted recovery. In for Darlene, scoops it, blocked off before it reached Morgan. And that's going to get whistled against Adeklat. But regardless, back in business for New England. Darlene. Prajapati. Is there more of that fight that Coach Marrero's been looking for? Talked about how they made those small tweaks in their build-ups, especially in the offensive side of the ball. Near side, Gabe Darlene cuts back and just ran right into Zeltzer Zubida. Two-on-two brewing for Miami. Could be a 3-on-2 if they hurry. In the middle, blocked off by Shannon. Still there, up top, Saha just misses. Mateo Saha had his eyes set on what could have been a half a dozen in 2026. Didn't really get that full footing on the plant. Had it somewhat slip under him on the follow through, lost his footing on the way as he goes down. This is where we have our second hydration break of the evening. And we need to take a breather here because this game has been, for lack of a better term, absolutely insane. 6 goals, 4 for Miami, 2 for New England. And we're talking about goals that are coming in relatively quick succession. You started off the match with 3 goals in a 20-minute stretch. New England get one back 2 minutes before the 45-minute mark. This is back in the first half. Vornkamp gets around Azar, just narrowly keeping it inside the end line before it's slammed home by Diego Rey for the first goal of the match. This is back in minute 12. Fast forward about a dozen minutes after that. This is the 26th minute. Cesar Abadia-Reda keeps it in play once again, narrowly tight-roping the end line before it's tapped home by Diego Rey to make it 2-0 after 26 minutes. Half a dozen minutes after that, 32 minutes into the match. Great one touch by Rey to backheel it. Acevedo gets a lane. He beats out everyone, including Zach LaPierre, to make it 3-0 at the 32-minute mark, but just on the cusp of halftime. 43 minutes into the match. Oliveira to the back post. Miles Morgan absolutely mosses Tyler Hall to just barely squeak it inside of the post. And this is when things got interesting. The slide by Masendin sent Baptiste free, top side, short side, to make this game 3-2 in the 71st, but it took seconds after that goal got scored from Miami to get that 2-goal lead back. Mateo Saha touched off by Flores, and it's Aido Zeltzer-Zubida to get the finishing touch on that. And that's where we sit as we approach the 78th minute, 4-2 here in Fort Lauderdale. Aido Zeltzer-Zubida, by the way, for context, he extends his team lead of 8 goals on the season. Diego Rey, 2 goals, 1 assist in this match alone. And if you include secondary assists, Vornkamp sits on 2 assists, Acevedo sits on 1 assist, 1 goal, all of which were subbed off at some point in this match. That one made its way before it's retreated back. Josh Macedo came into the match during a hydration break period. Lifted ahead, swept out. You also have Sean Gormley, who came in for Inter Miami as well. Dali looks for space. You can see the full defensive 11 for Miami with the pressure coming for New England. Oliveira retreats for Shannon. 11 minutes to go in regulation. Frost, just wide of Morgan. Narrowly kept in play by Macedo initially. No, they actually say that was out of play. New England on the corner. Four corners this half, 7 in total for New England. Scooped in and into the hands of Marine. This will simply go end-to-end towards Lapierre. Well, good news for New England. Their streak of games with multiple goals will just extend. They have multiple goals now in 7 consecutive matches. Mimi up the center. Oliveira, he escapes his man. Oliveira sidesteps. Great save, Marine. Rebound. Baptiste, he scores. They say no goal. Offside. They say Baptiste was offside, and Marine is down once again. He had to get his hand inspected after a corner kick early in the first half to contact Baptiste, so he'll get looked at again. But we will definitely have to look at that again with the claim of it being offside. Oliveira, oh yeah, you can see Baptiste is the only one even approaching the 6 before he gets the header in. You could very much see that, especially with the rugby lines kind of helping indicate things a little bit. The final defender was kind of in between that final blue line to the edge of the 6. But Baptiste was on the 6, way ahead, a couple yards ahead of the last defender. Talking about 1.5 yards maybe. So I know a lot of people tend to draw some sort of ire to lines of other sports being on soccer pitches, especially football fields and soccer facilities being shared. But one thing they do serve their purpose on is measurement. And offsides and having this type of visual, it helps. Maybe not all the time though, but it does serve its purpose every here and there. Although it is an MLS league, it's not quite like Major League Soccer where they have the full VAR in play. but the rugby lines did help provide that indicator, at least in that one specific instance. And at the very least, the offside call on Matthew Jean-Baptiste is the correct one. So within the hydro break period that came about a half dozen minutes ago, we never fully got this one up to snuff. It was right around the 74th minute where it was Josh Macedo of New England coming in for Aaron Prajapati on the right back slot. And this is not the best sign if you are the head man for Inter Miami, Daniel Godoy. Probably, you could argue, he's the number 3 keeper in the organization behind Rocco Rios Novos and Dane Sinclair is Marine. The 18-year-old has started pretty much. You're talking close to every single game so far this season. 19 of 22 matches he's been between the pipes. Although he has seen a lot of losses from this team this year, he has been the number 1 guy through and through. And one thing you cannot take away from Matthias Marine is the ability to continuously stay in there, show up for the team, and give his best game in and game out. Especially with human nature and psychology kicking in, how you might not necessarily feel the best, especially because results haven't gone your way, but he has been in the fight continuously for the Herons since he joined the team last year. 14 starts in 2025, now 19 in 2026. Gets ready to send off the goal kick as this portion of the match is brought to you by Ergo Next Insurance. Simple because it matters. Marine stays in. New England trying to avoid that first loss on the road. This is the first time they went on the road. Poked ahead, Miles Morgan on one, slid across, blocked, still Morgan, back in the middle, saved by Marine. Follow up, worked outside. That was well short of Oliveira as that skips out of play. What a lane here for Morgan as you had trying to make the unselfish play because you had the man wide open in the middle. But for all intents and purposes, if you have the shot, I wouldn't have blamed Morgan for going for it either. This at least keeps things with New England for the time being. Azar at center. He's getting grappled by Flores. This should easily be a yellow card. Well, it is most certainly a heated day here in Fort Lauderdale. You're talking about an hour-long rain delay before the match started. Still 83 degrees residually. And is there some sort of magic in the air for the Revs? Macedo crosses too high. This goes end to end. Last off of Ortella, giving things right back to New England. Foul against the Revs. Well, this most certainly provides some wiggle room for the Columbus Crew. tied with New England in points entering the evening. They're at 42 apiece. And now that New England have the extra match played on Columbus, this puts pressure on Columbus to take care of business on Sunday in Huntsville, who they themselves are fighting for their playoff lines 4 points back of 8th place NYCFC. New York City, by the way, are actually New England's next opponent on Saturday. 5 p.m. kickoff time, Eastern. Although New England do have that 6-point cushion on NYC, no lead is safe in Next Pro. Spun down, back to the Revs. This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Lowe's, the official home improvement partner of Inter Miami CF2. Two minutes to make up 2 goals. Jack Shannon makes his way to Darlene. Gets around his man. Still Darlene. That cross gets blocked. Morrison, last contact. Another corner to the Revs. This is the one and only time these two will meet. New England have won the last 4 head-to-heads. New England lead the series 8-2, and that is both in Next Pro and in USL League One, back when Miami were then called Fort Lauderdale. Final minute of 90, headed out. Mimi is there first. Still there for the Revs. Back in the middle, wide of Masendin. Zeltzer Zubida leads the charge. In a breakaway here, Jude Adeklot. Contact from behind, fair play that allowed Lapierre to collect. Darlene. 3 pink jerseys all over, so it comes back to center for Oliveira. Shannon. Oliveira through the legs. Takedown, no whistle. Saha the other way. Foot race between Shannon and Adeklot. Has Saha the other way if he wants it. Adeklot. Contact. Missed by Lapierre, and Saha couldn't get the tap in. You have to respect Inter Miami, at least the attempt they had. That most certainly would not have been a foul, as Adeklot was the one initiating the contact, but you're talking about 1.5 feet too far in front of Saha for potential tap-in on the slide. And there is life for New England. 9 minutes of stoppage time to get 2 goals to potentially force penalties. Currently 8 unbeaten on the road are the Revs. Oliveira, 1 touch, back in the box, in the mix, and just missed! This was a golden opportunity for the Revs. That is the 3rd time they have struck left post today. Once in the first half, twice in the second half. And if you're a Matias Marine, you give that left post a big hug if they come out with the 3 points in this match. That try gets blocked. Masendin collects it. Baptiste chops it down and earns the corner. 9 corners total for New England. Miami still only have 1. And Marine came out of his box to smother the chance. New England will make their way up to New York. 3 of their next 4 opponents are within 4 points of the playoff line. New York City, who are in the 8 seed. Huntsville, who, as we mentioned, 4 points back of that in the 12. And they get to play Columbus later on, who they're currently tied with. Sliding ahead, Darlene bumps off his man to give way for LaPierre. 3 minutes deep of 9. Inter Miami, they go to Chicago, where they are on the outside looking in. The final seed, the first seed out are the Fire in the 9, but tied in points with New York City at 36 apiece. This could be a dangerous opportunity for the Fire when Miami come later. Lost by Macedo, back for Miami. Also not a lot of home games left for the Herons as well. 4 of their last 6 are on the road. Somehow kept in by Morrison. Does he go for it? He did, but he missed. What an effort here by Sloan Morrison to get away from Gabe Darlene. You had the assistants come in as well, and how did he escape that? Not only the debutante Benjamin Corino, but even the NCAA veteran Gabe Darlene. Azer ran into a man, stays with New England. New England, they're going to have a lot of travel dates coming up. 4 of their last 5 are away from Rhode Island, including the Decision Day match in Toronto, where TFC are 6 points back of 8th place NYC. Baptiste up top. Azar outside, Macedo. Masending. Edge of the box, curls it forward. Oliveira couldn't control, that allows Miami to get it out. Halfway through, approaching 5 of 9. Cut off, recovered by the Revolution. Darlene. New England have a 2-goal gap to make up. The game winner back in the 32nd as of now from Matias Acevedo. However, the immediate response goal from Ido Zeltzer-Zubida after Baptiste made it 3-2, you're talking less than 60 seconds afterward, that made this hill even steeper of a climb. Squirts through, edge of the box, still with it, that got deflected. Still alive, Darlene came in. He's down, Masending keeps it alive. Loose for Baptiste, swung it across, well out of play. Miami's lone win in regulation came here at Inter Miami CF Stadium against Toronto 3 weeks ago. This would be their 3rd win of any kind if they hang on. They did get that first win in PKs in Carolina back in the end of March. For New England, this would be their first potential road loss since April in Columbus. They've been 8 unbeaten on the road since. Miami have done an excellent job eating away at the clock. And even though they didn't necessarily control the ball, they were efficient when they had it. 4 shots on target, 4 goals off of 9 attempts. But you have to give some credit too to Matias Marine. Offside were Miami. Just not a great efficient day in the office for the Revs. 21 shot attempts. Sounds great on paper, but 5 on goal, not necessarily what you're looking for. Still a lot of tweaks being made on the offensive side. They're still looking for those little tweaks to really ramp up that offense to the next level. And this was even the case all season long. They're top 10 in shots on target. They're 8th in that department. They have the 3rd most shots attempted, but they're middle of the pack in goals. Maybe another try. Rebound, other end, Darlene, back up, great save, Marine, cleared by Miami. This has been something that's plagued New England all season long. They get a lot of attempts, but not necessarily the majority of them get to goal, and because of that relatively low ratio, they're not necessarily excelling in the goals department either. That got chopped down by a handball, and this pretty much seals the deal for the Herons. All the pressure goes to the Crew. Sunday in Huntsville to overtake New England, both for seeding, hosting, and the potential of pick your opponent coming back. You want to at least have that selection if you're Columbus, or New England for that matter. Flipped up, Adiclat gets it down, overhead. And for the second time in South Florida, Inter Miami 2 have won by a final of 4-2. 2 wins for the Herons within the last month, accounting for their only 2 regulation wins this season, and a lot of that carried within the first half an hour by our man of the match, presented by Adidas. And it is none other than the man who not only had a brace, but 3 total goal contributions. He scored the opener in the 12-minute mark. He scored the second goal in the 25. And although it's not listed here, he did get the primary assist on the Acevedo goal to make it 3-0. And what a way to get your first and second goals of the season. Not doing anything crazy or anything flashy, just reading the defense, finding the right spot, and getting 2 goals in this match. And although we didn't show it, a beautiful backheel to open up Matias Acevedo on that 3rd goal as well. That'll do it for us and our entire crew here at Inter Miami CF Stadium. Don't forget to watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and One Football. Final score here in Fort Lauderdale, 4-2 in favor of the Pink and Black. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.